So welcome everyone to our sixth webinar in our series called Kids, Sport and Country. Kids, Sport and Country all are actually held together by one force that actually decides the outcome of a lot of sporting events, sporting championships, and they are our coaches, right? It is said that a good coach can change a game, a match, but a great coach can change a life. It is my honor to welcome an illustrious set of panelists, illustrious set of coaches that we have on board today with us. I'll start with Mr. E. Prasad Rao, also fondly known as Kabaddi Rao. He's been coach of the Indian national team for over 2 decades. Yeah, he's been an instrumental leader in Kabaddi. He's the reason why Kabaddi is where it is today. And the transformation from Kabaddi as a mud sport to the mat is in fact something that he's headed. He is in fact the technical director of the International Kabaddi Federation. He's also been instrumental in ensuring all those big names that we hear today in Indian Kabaddi and in the PKL, all of them have at some point in time been affected positively by Mr. E.P. Rao, as I said, fondly known as Kabaddi Rao. We welcome you, sir, on this special webinar and looking forward to have some great inputs from you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Moving on to our next panelist, Ms. Sheba Magon. She is also known as the Queen of Indian Basketball. She's been part of the basketball fraternity now for many years. For years that in different capacities, she's been a player herself. She's been a coach. She's been an international referee, and of course now is the coach of the Indian national team. Her contribution to basketball can really not be put into words. She's also represented India in the Commonwealth Games and various international championships, including Asian championships. Ma'am, we welcome you and thank you for being on our webinar for this panel, and again looking forward to some great inputs from you as well.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Now to welcome our final panelist, Mr. Sharif Bapu. He is he's the president of MMA India. He's the technical director of the Academy of Self-Defense, again an international referee, certified by the IMMAF. He's founded various self-defense academies. Few people get to serve the defense fraternity in this country without actually being part of them, and he is actually one person who's been able to train various armed forces in our country, and he's also part of the global team that actually heads MMA. Sharif sir, we welcome you on board this webinar. And
thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you so much. So without taking any more time, I'd like to dive directly into the first question that we have for E.P. Rao sir. So we'd like to know about your journey as a coach. You started off as a physical education teacher and then moved on to coaching and other roles that you played in Kabaddi. If you could take us through that journey, it would be really enlightening for us to understand how that transition happened.
Actually, I never thought that I will become a Kabaddi coach, because in those days, the coach word, the term was missing in our sport. At least Kabaddi and Kho-Kho, these sports, they didn't had a professional coach.
Right.
Basically, I am from a municipality high school. In my school, we are from middle class families, lower middle class families. We cannot afford any sport where you can need to buy equipment. Expensive sport is not possible for us. So my physical education teacher, he was expert in Kho-Kho and Kabaddi, basic mother sports of India. So these two sports, he was training us. And particularly when we were playing kabaddi and kho, we never thought that this will become our bread and butter. We played because of the love and affection for the sport. And honestly, I wanted to become sports teacher because in my place, my city, a small place in Andhra Pradesh, where everybody knows the physical education teacher. They may not be knowing the headmaster. They may not be knowing the professor, lecturer. But my physical education teacher was so popular in our city. So everybody used to regard him. So that made us to I was attracted. I never wanted to become a professor or a lecturer. No, I wanted to become a high school physical education teacher, particularly. So that was the reason I took this profession, though I was okay with the education, but I wanted to become a physical education teacher. I wanted, because there is another reason is that when I played, Kabaddi was, people used to see Kabaddi as a strength oriented sport.
Right.
Kabaddi means वो बहुत बड़ा मोटा होना चाहिए, तगड़ा होना चाहिए, strength. Kabaddi player means mentally. So my physique doesn't because of my height and weight, I was not very good player in senior level. So then I thought to change that strength oriented concept to speed and agile. I made, actually that was my main idea why I came into Kabaddi is I wanted to change the concept of Kabaddi.
Right.
People think Kabaddi, अरे Kabaddi खेलता है, अरे तो बहुत चोट लगता होगा. So that concept I wanted to change, and I brought the modern techniques, and the entire game has become scientific and modern. So that is the one reason why I have chosen to become a physical education teacher. At that time, there was no coaching. Afterwards, I could enter into the coaching field. That is a different story, but that was the main reason.
Lovely. In fact, my next question to you, as part of this itself, was going to be, was it just love for sport that you chose to become P? But you answered that for me right up front, that it was the love, the affection for the game, as well as the respect that you saw your physical education teacher in Andhra. In fact, for those of you who are not aware, he has actually represented 2 states in Kho as well as Kabaddi. So that's Andhra Pradesh as well as Odisha today in 2 sports. So and to be able to now give back to sport and contribute so much, sir, it's an absolute honor. And the number of people you've inspired, and we hope that chain only keeps getting longer and longer. Moving on to my next question, which is to you, ma'am. You've of course represented India as a player, as a coach, and and that's of course taken you a long time. The journey must have been amazing with great learning. What has been the transition or the changes that you actually saw in the overall ecosystem of sport and of basketball in particular during this journey? And of
I
course,
think the
you
game
must have
has,
faced,
as Mr. V.N. Rao has said, in our days, there was no scientific training. And now science has become an integral part of any sport. So that is one thing that has, come into our ecosystem of the sports, whether we look at shooting, wrestling, any game. And in basketball, the changes that I see is, in our days, of course, we had these NIS qualified coaches. And to the best of knowledge, they had trained us, but we didn't have a lot of either, basketball being indoor sports and modern sports. We didn't have those indoor facilities. facilities as well. So now we have more of the indoor facilities for playing the game. And as well, you know, I represented India almost 15 years. In my 15th year, only in my last year, 2000, I think 9, I finally trained. I'm just training with the Indian team coaches. So we didn't have much of that international exposure of getting trained by, you know, someone very high qualified coaches, especially from US or Australia. But now, as we see, the game has evolved so much. NBAs in India, they have their coaches going to all, as Sir said, that Kendriya Vidyalaya school doesn't have a lot of facilities. So NBA is taking a lot of interest in all these schools. They go over there and they try to, you know, they're trying to actually make basketball sports more of a community sports as well now. So that is one change. And now, in my time, I saw as a player, you know, we were struggling because we didn't have a lot of leagues. But now many of our players, they're playing, especially when we look at the men's section, they are getting to play in the NBA G League. 2 days back only, I think Prince Pal from Punjab, who actually was academy, and now he's got, you know, professionals that have opened. So, you know, when I go back and I think, you know, I worked so hard as a player. I used to get up 3:45 in the morning, and my training regimen was completely like a फौजी जैसे हो गया होता है ना, उसने कुछ करके ही आना है आज. उस टाइप में I used to train. Even, you know, when I landed up, I got a scholarship to study in US. So with my height, I was short in height in basketball, 5'9". But जो मैंने training किया था अपने ऊपर, and when I went to US, I made it to the starting 5 of the university team right from the beginning. And I just, you know, think that कि वो जो facilities अब है, अगर वो मेरे time में होती, I would have easily played in the WNBA. But unfortunately, the director used to say, when you walk on a path, you know, as a player, either you narrow it or you're going to leave it wide for others. So I think we have left it wide by, you know, by our hard work. We have left it wide, and now the players are getting those opportunities which were missing in our time. And our basketball federation now is taking so much of interest into sports that, you know, I think in the last 3-4 years, India mein hi FIBA championships, one 2 senior, 1 junior, one youth. So 3 or 4 major championships have already happened in India. In मेरे time में तो, you know, when as a player मुझे first India खेलने में 7 साल लग गए. Why? Not that I was not into the team. I made it to the team the very next year. But for the next 6 years, the team didn't go on. So getting a lot of exposure has helped the team to grow up. The women team is especially playing really well. And as well, the opportunities, the doors that have been opened to them is the, you know, athletic scholarships getting to US. We all know that US is a hub of basketball. So going and getting trained over there, and all of these players who are actually getting trained over there, they come back and they perform for Indian team. So this is a huge, you know, I would say that transition that I'm seeing is gonna help our game go boom in a, you know, couple of years. We're definitely waiting for the professional league, and I'm sure with the federation putting a lot of efforts, I think by the end of year, whenever this pandemic is over, they're gonna come up with a professional league for the women.
Super, ma'am. I mean, you know, just that one quote I think sums up what a coach also can do, which is, you know, when you take on a path, you either leave it, you know, narrow or widen it for those who follow you. And you know, the fact that you simply are trying to widen that path for every player that comes along in future, it just you know, it's just great to know. And of course, like you said, things have changed for the better.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you know, I'm just gonna bring to you. There's this NBA. You know, when you go to the NBA, this thing headquarters, there's a room over there. So you know, there are photos over there of all these legends, and it's mentioned over there. I walked that road. You know, where you are today, I was there.
Yes.
So, you know, they are actually widening it up wider and wider, that your whole NBA is actually impacting the world. The same way we as coaches want to impact what I didn't get. I want that facilities, that opportunities for our players.
Absolutely, ma'am. Brilliant. Sharif sir, moving on to you. Of course, MMA, you know, has been in focus recently with several Indian fighters making quite a mark, right, at one championship, including Ritu Phogat. And it tells us that we have the potential to make it to the world stage in MMA. But as of now, of course, we still continue. It still continues to be a fringe sport, where athletes and coaches still lack proper guidance and support. So, of course, being the president of MMA and a key member of the entire ecosystem, what is it that you look at, to provide coaches such that we can produce more and more, better athletes or world-class athletes?
First of all, good evening to everybody. MMA game, it's been in existence in the last 8 to 10 years almost. So it's a very new game when compared to other combat games like karate, judo, taekwondo, which are already in the Olympics and all. And maybe more combat games have come in the recent years. You must have seen like kickboxing and others, wushu is there. So MMA compared to them relatively is a very new sports. But like you said, yes, there have been Indians have been making a mark at the international circuit. Like Ritu Phogat. Ritu Phogat is known because she was belonging to the wrestling background, and suddenly I think a year, 1.5 years back, she took up MMA as a sports, and she's been sponsored by the Evolve team, and she's training over there in Singapore with the team, and she's won a couple of bouts also over there. Apart from not only Ritu Phogat, there has been a good international level competition for Indian fighters, like Pooja Tomar has been a good fighter, whereas Roshan Maina is also there. And apart from that, I would say in the amateur circuit also, we had Mehboob Khan, the first Indian to win an World Championship gold medal in the juniors category in 2018. And that was a very proud moment for each and every Indian of us to see the country flag over there. We almost, all our Indian team, we cried because, it's not easy to get a gold medal at the world stage at the first time when an athlete is participating. So that was a big thing. And the best part, in the finals, Mehboob Khan beat up. The finalist was the player of the Prince of Bahrain, and where the Prince of Bahrain himself, who is the president of the Bahrain Olympic Committee, was the coach also of that athlete, that fighter. So, it was a big thing for us, though being an official over there, we couldn't cheer him up. But yes, we knew that what was going in our heart and our mind. And I really wanted to jump with joy, but I can't do that because being a referee and official, you can't do that. Otherwise, my license would get cancelled. Right. But like you said, it's not only about athletes performing well. And we need is a very good infrastructure. We need support. Without the support, like ma'am is there, basketball and kabaddi, they get a good support from the government because basketball is an Olympic sport, and kabaddi also, it is there at the Asian level. But MMA, like I said, relatively, because my background has been karate since 42 years. Karate sport, after 40 years in existence, has this year had found a place in the Olympic in Tokyo. But unfortunately for this pandemic, COVID-19, that this year the Olympic is only not there. So hopefully 2021 karate sports would be included. It is there as a medal sports in the Olympics. So MMA, it would take time. But yes, we are trying our level best to see that we give a platform to the athletes. We have, like I said, government support. It won't be that easy for us because, like I said, we are not sports which is recognized by IOC or OC, Olympic Council of Asia and all. So till that time we don't get that affiliation and recognition, it is very difficult to become a member in the Indian Olympic or get a recognition from the Ministry of Sports and Youth Affairs. But we are trying our level best to see that we also follow the same guidelines and all. So we are trying to do a lot of workshops and all, trying to support our athlete. Recently, last year, we had a tie-up with the UFC gyms, which have come up in India also. Like you said, Bharat Kandare, those athletes have represent India in the UFC. So we have having a tie-up with the UFC gyms, which one branch has already come up in Delhi, and the second one is coming up in Mumbai in Bandra. So, we are having a tie-up with those gyms and infrastructure. We are trying to develop. We have a big team, almost like we are there in 25 states and more than 5 union territories today. We are having our members, affiliated members. And we are trying to follow the guidelines. We are trying to follow the guidelines of WADA, which is very important for a combat game like MMA. Because doping is very essential, so that the fighters, they do not try to take substance which is not good for them. Apart from that, like I said, our international federation, that is International Mixed Martial Art Federation, where our president itself has been a judo Olympian. In 1984, he had represented his country, the United Kingdoms, and he had won a medal over there, a bronze medal. He's been a world championship for judo. So, our leaders are only Olympians and they know exactly how to promote the game. So we are getting good support from them. And hopefully, I think if everything goes well, definitely we'll try to make up infrastructures. Like today also, I can proudly say, all our members, they have their own gyms, whether it is Bangalore, whether it is in the Northeast, whether it is in Delhi, Gurgaon, whether it is Mumbai. So overall, I think we are having close to not less than, I feel, 100 gyms of MMA where these people are putting in their own money from their own pocket and developing the game, giving the infrastructure to the students and athletes, what is much required. So just keeping the finger crossed, that's it.
Right. So, in fact, thank you for mentioning karate, because what I wanted to mention the fact to all our viewers is that Sharif sir has also received various, appreciation from the government as the best karate coach multiple times. So, sir, what I understand, just to sum up what you're saying, the kind of support you require for coaches, right? Of course, athletes, there's one is one avenue to get that support, but it's mainly support in terms of infrastructure and a sort of a single window clearance to try and make and develop the sport as much as possible, right?
That's true. So we have our own promotion and fight nights also. Like last year we had, this year only we signed a contract with Book My Show, which is one of our top corporates for promotion of all this thing. So we are having our own underground fight night. And like I said, our Honorable Union Minister, Cabinet Minister Narinder Singh Tomarji, his son Devendra Pratap Singh Tomar, who's also associated along with our Honorable Indian Olympic President Narendra Batraji in Hockey India. So Devendra Pratap represents our sport as a president in Madhya Pradesh Association. So, people are moving in, they're trying to support, and we are trying to give what best we can to our coaches in form of, basic infrastructure. I won't say like, if you say like the big gyms and all, but yes, we are doing our level best since the time we have taken up. And like I said at the very beginning, MMA is a sports which is relatively and comparatively very new when it compares with the other combat sport.
Right. So thank you, sir. Just before moving on to my next question to Rao sir, just like to tell all attendees that throw in your questions. We will be looking at all the questions that you send across, and ensure that you mention who the question is directed towards. And at the end of this session, we'll ensure that all of them are answered. Few of them on screen, and the others will be answered afterwards once the webinar is over and written back. Right. So coming back to you, Rao sir, you've been part of the Indian Kabaddi ecosystem from school level to the international level. Rao sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. So like I was saying, so you've been part of the Indian ecosystem from the school level to the international level, been the coach of the Indian team for 2 decades now, and of course seen the entire journey of a coach from a grassroots level coach to an international team coach. So how do you think we can support coaches at the grassroots level, and the kind of challenges they face? And can we draw some parallels to what happens maybe in other countries that we can take inspiration from to create a grassroots level coaching ecosystem? Of course, we've spoken a lot about athletes, but this is more from a coach perspective and how we can improve that system.
First of all, let me congratulate and thank your organization, because no one is thinking about the trainers and coaches. Everybody is talking about the athletes. Yes, no doubt that the athlete is the most important, who has to perform. But behind every athlete, there is a coach, there is a trainer, there is a supporting staff, who are the main reasons for creating these records. So now your organization has rightly thought of these people. So when you are talking about the coaching field, I just wanted to in the structure of the coaching profession in India particularly. I just wanted to put in front of you so that my viewers will come to know what exactly this coaching profession.
Right.
There are two types of coaches. One is fully trained coaches, one is untrained coaches. There are trained coaches, they are giving the results, they are also producing, but there are untrained coaches, but the experienced as a player, or maybe they are training with their background, their club. They may not be having degrees, qualification,
Right.
but they are also doing a lot of promotion for the development of the players. So
Right.
there are two groups. When you see the whole coaching profession, you must have had Government of India Sports Ministry. They appoint the coaches. Sports Authority of India appoints the coaches. They are central government employees. They get all the facilities. They get, they are the employees. They get all benefits, and they are working for the development of the athletes. Their second group is that they work for the state governments. Every state has a sports ministry. They also
Right.
appoint the coaches. These coaches are trained coaches. Mostly they are trained coaches. And these coaches, the third group is appointed by the paramilitary forces, banks, public sector units like ONGC, Reserve Bank, banks, many other organizations, even corporate sector, they have their own trainers, they have their own coaches. These coaches all are supported by the organization, and they are getting all the benefits like
Right.
any other employee. Now the fourth category, they are the most affected coaches where we are talking about.
Correct.
These coaches are working with the local clubs.
Correct.
Somebody may be having a small club near his park or street or school. He is running a small club and he is training the local boys, young kids. They are the coaches. They are called basic coaches. Some are trained also. Even there are some coaches who are trained also. Some coaches, they are not trained. They may be an English teacher or a mathematics teacher. Because of love for the sport, he comes evening and he trains the boys. So there is another group, that is senior players.
Right.
These players also, they don't get any salary. They come and they train the local boys. For your kind information, I have trained, you have said that I have trained the school team. Yes, that was my best in my life. I have enjoyed the best is in my school, training the school boys. That was the best part. Though I trained the Indian team, but training the youngsters, that gives wo maja hi alag maja.
That's a
Then coming to top level performer, there is this in foreign countries they call barefoot coaches.
right.
Barefoot coaches are the coaches who are training at the basic level, like a recreational sport. Like it is not, they don't train, they don't think that he will become an Olympian.
Right.
But they catch the youngsters. They are the first feeding centers of our national teams. For example, I will tell you PT Usha. PT Usha, the whole world knows PT Usha because she was a great athlete, won the many gold medals for India. But she was spotted by a school physical education teacher. Though PT Usha was trained by Nambiar, sir, Nambiar was her professional coach. But the talent was found by Mr. M. Balakrishnan, a physical education teacher. He made her to run on the sands near the seashore. वो बीचेस में दौड़ाया उसको, उस टैलेंट को फिर मेरा जैसा कोच मिला, वो उसको तैयार किया. बट बेसिकली these are the coaches who who are the feeding centers, who bring the
Absolutely, sir.
real talent.
Absolutely. In fact, firstly, thank you for, appreciating the work we're doing. And, like you rightly said, these are the coaches, they actually work as a feeder system. And, in fact, and I'll just take this opportunity because you've just mentioned what we do. And, to ensure that we actually try and, better their skills and, empower more such coaches who are actually, like you said, barefoot coaches, or the categories that you actually correctly drew out for us. It's actually these coaches that we are in fact going to launch. I'd like to take this opportunity to say that we're launching various programs which is actually towards coaching the coaches. Not only programs to be able to enhance their skill sets, but also leverage those skills to go and get better qualifications, to be able to adapt more to, of course, situations currently, as well as whatever we are faced or they are faced going forward. And it's more about trying to give online education at this point in time, and various such programs will be announced at a very, very recent future. And at the
Great,
same
great.
time sir, we've also launched our support program for coaches, which is actually to be able to support coaches. Like you said, there is benefits for all those coaches higher up in the ranks, that they receive. But it's these on ground barefoot coaches that actually get affected the most, especially like Sharif sir said, in this time of the pandemic. So we actually launched that
They are,
program as
sorry, they are the most neglected, because
exactly.
when somebody gets for India gold medal, the
Exactly, sir.
highest performing
They are
coach will
never
take it.
recognized. Yes, yes,
They are not recognized.
yes. And to be able to support these coaches even in these tough times is where we've launched this coaches support program. Along with the Ab Jeetega India Foundation as well as Play for India. And we'll be sending you details shortly of how we could support those coaches and how coaches could actually come ahead and request for that kind of support.
Great.
Right? Super. So moving on, ma'am, coming back to you. Of course, basketball at the championships we conduct, right? So at the SFA championship, basketball is one of the most popular sports. It sees, at the school level, it sees about 250 teams across 2 cities, and that shows the kind of interest that children actually have. While that is so, what happens, beyond school level, is that the popularity sort of seems to dip, or the participation seems to dip. Doesn't sort of happen in a sport like football today. What role do you think that coaches, coaches like yourself, as well as coaches that actually are there in the basketball fraternity at the grassroots level and in schools, what role can they play to help change this, and then already use that popularity that's already there to take the sport to another level? Ma'am, you're on mute. Yes.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So as you know, in the beginning, you said there are coaches who actually win medals, and then there are coaches who actually impact the life.
Absolutely.
So impacting, see, I've been trained in US. So there, the training system is completely different. They don't just train for the medals. They train to make a life out of an athlete, make them understand that how they can actually be leader in whatever field they choose after they stop playing. So, see, I'm a coach. So many parents, they come to me and then they say that, we want ki mera jo bacha hai, wo Nashik khele, wo India khele. So the first thing that I tell them is that, let's forget about the result. Let him enjoy the journey. And in this process of journey, he's gonna, sports is the only way that is gonna develop him completely. He's gonna develop him socially, mentally, physically, and economically. All 4 things. Right. So, as sir ne, initially sir also said कि हमारे जो feeders हैं, जो feeders होते हैं ज़्यादातर coaches, they, as it is mentioned, that they are not very educated. So their जो फीडर्स होते हैं उसमें कुछ कोचेस ऐसे होते हैं जैसे सीनियर बच्चे हैं, उनको जॉब नहीं मिला, दे प्ले नेशनल्स बट दे डोंट हैव मेडल टू गेट इनटू द professional team like railways or ONGC or bank jobs. So ultimately they are, and they didn't pay actually attention to their studies as well, so they are not physical education teachers as well. So what is left to them is now the sport that they have played. So they try, some of them get into sports for the quick money. Maybe I'll get 5 6 7,000 and I will start supporting my family. That's the ultimate goal they take in their mind, and they start coaching. So what happened ultimately is these coaches do not impact. That is why जो क्या कहते हैं ना, बास्केटबॉल में अगर कोई एक बहुत बड़ा टॉप पे पहुंचा है एथलीट, इट्स अ टीम स्पोर्ट, तो एक पहुंचा, but then we have billions of people and we have so many coaches. Why can't other players also reach at that level? Again, education plays a very important role. Like मेरे पास जब बच्चे आते हैं और वो बोलते हैं कि मुझे बास्केटबॉल खेलना है, I educate them. It is very good that you want to play basketball. Let me have a reality check with you. Basketball is a heighted game nowadays. If you want to be a playmaker, your height should be 6'2".
Right.
If you want to make it to the Indian team, so first you actually start giving them a reality check. Now after that, what are the career options that this is the main thing. हमारे यहाँ पर there is no data provided in the college universities कि अगर आप एक पर्टिकुलर स्पोर्ट्स खेल रहे हैं, उसमें अगर आपने इंडिया नहीं खेला, आपने सिर्फ यूनिवर्सिटी का लेवल खेला, तो बियॉन्ड उसके आफ्टर 12th उसके बाद क्या होने वाला है, they have no idea. There is no sports management का there are programs like sports management, but we don't see lot of jobs कि बहुत सारा there is कि आप किसी भी स्पोर्ट्स में जाके उसको स्पोर्ट्स मैनेजमेंट के कोर्स करने के बाद आपको गवर्नमेंट उतनी जॉब्स दे रहे हैं. Then scientific training, you're a science student and you're into basketball. Tomorrow you can mix your basketball and you can become a जो बाहर की आप NBA के आज डाटा जो बना रहे हैं, there is this one very famous huddle.com. So these guys are from India and they are actually making a software for whom they are making it for NBA. Ultimately वो हमारे ही these people are our people only na. So if we can actually guide our athletes that there are career opportunities with playing basketball, if you're not gonna reach at the elite level, but you can be managers, you can be referees. आज हमारा रेफरी जो बाहर के कोचिंग का this मैच करने के लिए जाता है, they get $300 over there, I think. Now it is increased. So those are the career opportunities that that are not linked. So that is why school में they start, because when you go to the schools, most of the schools in Indian this thing circuit, you'll find a basketball court over there. So जब basketball court, and it is a very glamorous sport, आपको वो ring जो है वो आपको बहुत एक खींचता है अपनी तरफ. So everybody wants to go and play over there. Then reasons to drop out is आप lack of motivation से कई बार हो जाता है, because you're not very heighted, so coach is not giving that attention to you. Again, coach can educate that player कि भाई अगर तुम you're not gonna make it to the top, at least beta this sport is gonna help you to be more clear about your vision, that what you want to be in your life. The confidence that you're going to carry out of the sports. It's not only about basketball. I think there are many team sports that are played in the school, and when it comes to the college level, they get drop out.
Right.
So again, there is no professional league in the basketball right now. Once that professional league comes, then the dropout level will definitely, it's going to drop. It's not going to high. Now I think with the NBA in India, जो ड्रॉप आउट पहले था उतना नहीं है. अभी कैसे है ना, एनबीए का एसीजी प्रोग्राम है, दे आर सिलेक्टिंग द प्लेयर्स, दे आर टेकिंग देम टू द एकेडमी, सो एवरीबॉडी इज crazy. More of the community basketball is there, so they want to get into that academy, and through that academy they have seen the changes. We've seen the women players like Sanjana Ramesh, recently I think Harsimran from Punjab, then N Mary from Kerala. All these players have got full scholarship to study in US.
Right.
And we all know how expensive it is. 23 lakhs a year. So these are the opportunities that are coming through, and I don't think so this dropout is going to be there forever. These gaps will be filled. But again, the training of the coaches, as you said, you train the coaches. I think education is something that should be brought in to these coaches, to let them know that each athlete that comes to you is your responsibility, how you're going to shape their life. Forget about shaping them as athletes. Start thinking about shaping their life, because when we shape the life, we shape our country, we shape our nation, and that's how we build a strong leaders who are actually tomorrow going to compete with the better, far better countries.
Remarkable. I think, the most important takeaway there was, of course, focus on the journey, not the result. And at the same time, it's educating every section of sports stakeholders, right? Whether it's the athlete right at the beginning, or of course, as much education as we can impart to the coaches who are eventually going to shape the lives of our country. Lovely, ma'am. So, Sharif sir, coming back to you, in fact, pulling a thread out of what Shiba ma'am said in her previous comment, with, she herself was also trained in the US, right? And that's something that we've seen as a trend in various sports. But specifically, to you mentioned Bharat Kandare earlier, of course, the only Indian at the UFC, who he's also someone who's trained at New Mexico, right, which is considered as one of the best facilities for training in the world. So why is it that foreign coaches are being preferred, like I said, in all sports, over Indian coaches? And what is it that we can do different to, of course, raise the bar of our own coaches, make them good enough so that we don't have to look elsewhere? It's something that we have as resources, but how can we better use them?
See, coming to Bharat Khandare, yes, very true. He was the first Indian to represent India at the UFC. The first Indian, why I say, because there have been a couple of Indians, also one Indian, one more is there, but they are not staying in the country.
Right.
They stay in the US, and because they have dual passports or dual citizenship or whatever. But yes, Bharat Khandare was the only guy who really came up from a very grassroots level. Like Bharat Khandare, as I know of his career in Nasik, he was working as a laborer. So
Wow.
a guy reaching up to that's amazing, because he put in his hard work, passion and all. Coming to the second point, what he said about the infrastructure and training at US and India. Like I said, yes, definitely they have a very better infrastructure, like Jackson's and another big gyms, what we talk about. Those gyms, they vary like from 20,000 square feet minimum. So in India, definitely to find such an infrastructure, it is still, like I said, we are at the beginning stage. We are doing our level best. Talking about the coaches, yes, coaches,
Yes.
first thing, the most important thing what our coaches need is faith in them.
Right.
Very sorry to say. Sometimes it happens, I may sound a little bit biased, because I have two coaches sitting over here. But yes, definitely, I think even they would agree. When it comes to the federations and government agencies, SAI and all, first preference they don't want to give it to the Indian coaches. I've seen it many times. Let's talk about cricket, for example.
Right.
I think we have the best of the batsmen in the world. The maximum person who scored the centuries is Sachin Tendulkar. But still, we are not offering him a coach's job.
Right.
We still prefer that we should get coaches from abroad. So this is what we lack, and this is what we need to support. A foreign coaches, if he's brought to India and with this infrastructure, even he will go away. He'll say, "What the hell? What am I doing over here?"
Right.
So if our Indian coaches, if they are sent abroad, if they have such a good infrastructure, if there is a good support financially to them to see the athletes, not only while training, even while the diet, your physiotherapy, and each and everything, which is there, I think that would 100% that would support not only the coaches, the athletes, and definitely we will win more medals in the Olympics. It feels sorry, when in Rio Olympics, when our team represented, I think at 100 member contingent, and I think we hardly got 2 medals. Even Deepa Karmakar, since I know Deepa very well, she comes to Mumbai. We have always been together. But even she couldn't get an Olympic medal. But yes, she performed so well that yes, each and every Indian was proud of her. So what support we need is that we need to have faith in our coaches. Definitely, we need to give them some time. Overnight results are not gonna come.
Absolutely.
You need to have faith. You need to give them time. You need to provide them with even at least, I'm not saying you need to provide them with a gym like Jackson, 20,000 square feet or some big gyms. But yes, at least provide them with a 5,000 square feet gym with good equipments, good financial support. And I think I don't want even blame the government. I would definitely request the corporate sectors to move in. Like I think Rao sir would agree with me that Kabaddi also became more famous from the time it became a weaver sport. Yes or no, Rao sir? From the
Yes,
time Pro Kabaddi came in, yes, it's become big with Amitabh Bachchan coming and singing the national anthem over there. With the more stars coming in, the game gets more lively. Like ma'am said, students are getting scholarship to go to the US. 23 lakh rupees. It is not a joke for a normal athlete to himself put that amount of money.
Yeah, of course.
So definitely the moment we support our people, we have faith in them, we look forward to them, we give them time.
yes.
Overnight, if you make me a coach and within the next year you would say that we need an Olympic or an Asian gold medal, it's not possible.
Absolutely. So
I don't have
you
a
have
magic.
faith.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
So
don't
like
have
you
a
said,
magic wand. Yes, I'll do this.
absolutely,
And yes,
sir.
the medals are gonna come.
Yes, absolutely. Like I said, it's a long-term thing. You have faith, you give them time, and you provide them with all the support that is given to everybody else in countries that we see, and that's when Indian coaches also will start showing you the results that we expect or we rather want from our athletes.
100%. 100%.
Absolutely. Rao sir, coming back to you, in the current scenario where, of course, like you said, the lowest rung of coaches are extremely severely affected, right? Unfortunately, a lot of them may have lost their livelihoods. We already announced our support program for those coaches. But what do you think can be done for them to support them by other people? And what can the coaches themselves do to adapt and take the best out of this situation that they have been faced with?
see this exactly what we almost everybody is coming to the same point. The coaches at bottom level and where we call barefoot coaches or
Right.
basic level coaches, they are the most affected in this scenario.
Absolutely.
So they need our support. This support, definitely, I'm happy that you people have taken up, and we will join you people, and we will all together, we will see that how best we can do. Now coming how, my suggestion is that these coaches, it is not that compulsory that we all the Indian these basic coaches we can support financially. It may not be possible. It is not, sometimes it may not be required also. There are some clubs where the financially they're not having problem. Maybe the
Correct.
coach is having problem.
Right.
And some places where, like other my speakers, they told that others maybe they need some scientific support, not financial support. Suppose I have a club, I am training the boys regularly, but I don't have a competition exposure. I am not able to give them a competition. So we can give
Right.
them competition support. Suppose somewhere we can give equipment support.
Correct.
If they need an equipment. See, my biggest thing is that you take any top class athlete of India, they have come from middle class families. They have not come from high clubs. They have started with high school training, school level grounds, play fields, no indoor hall. They started like that. Let us not miss that. Now there is a little problem also. These basic coaches have stopped training because they wanted indoor hall. They say no, I cannot train. I don't have indoor hall. No, you need not worry about indoor hall. You are the basic coach. If you are a primary school teacher, you think about primary school education. Don't think of university. So this is one feeding centers. Now India, once upon a time, there was a big club culture.
Right.
आप कोई भी सिटी जाओ, कोई विलेज जाओ, क्लब होता था, अखाड़ा होता था, उधर ट्रेनिंग होता था, उधर लोग सीखते थे. कुछ नहीं, not to become an Olympian, but to become a healthy citizen. वो अभी मिसिंग है. धीरे धीरे खत्म हो रहा है. Again we have to, it is because of you people. This movement should encourage them, should create
Right.
more club culture, should create more basic level coaches. If you don't have
Absolutely, sir.
feeding centers, you will miss diamonds. Karnam
Yes,
Malleswari
absolutely.
has come from Srikakulam से, एक छोटा गांव से आया है कर्णम मल्लेश्वरी.
Correct.
आप वो सिटी से नहीं आया, उसको बड़ा बड़ा वेट्स पता नहीं था. सो दैट बेसिक ट्रेनिंग बेसिक लेवल में जो देना था वो देना चाहिए. उसके लिए मैं चाहता हूं, आई विश दैट वी गिव फाइनेंशियल सपोर्ट, नो डाउट, वी गिव टेक्निकल सपोर्ट, we give equipment support, we give scientific support. Sometimes
Yes.
we may send our experts to train them, or sometimes we may send our scientists to test their physical parameters. जो विलेज में एक अच्छा एथलीट है उसको कोई टेस्टिंग नहीं हो रहा है.
Correct. In
Why?
fact, sir,
Why not?
that's something it's amazing that you said that, because it's not always it's not always the financial support that makes a
Yes.
difference in a coach's lives, especially coaches also at the basic levels, who we can empower, who we can build their qualification, their capabilities,
Yeah, why not? Why not?
and coach those coaches to create and scout more athletes. Absolutely. So in
No,
the interest of
we-
in the interest of time, sir, I'd like to move on. It's because there are a lot of
Yeah, please,
questions that are coming through,
please,
and
go ahead, go
I
ahead.
want to
Go ahead.
I want to take the questions as well as finish off
Good.
a couple of more discussions
Right.
that
Right.
we are we already have. So, ma'am, coming back to you, of course at the Rio Olympics, it was all woman power, right? In terms of athletes and participation, we had almost 50% of the athletes that were women, and 42% of the medals that actually India won were by women. So
Mhm.
when it comes to support staff and coaches and the entire system that helps the athletes to win these medals and participate and perform better, they hardly actually had any women. So how do you
Mhm.
think we can have more Indian women coaches like yourselves, and how can we create more opportunities for them, or be able to change that gap that currently exists?
That's a ha 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 question.
Absolutely.
You know what? It's very difficult. Honestly, you're a woman, you have to get married. So the moment you cross 27, 28, even if you're playing for the Indian team, the pressure start mounting on you. Get married,
Right.
get married, whether it's from your relatives, from your family. Your family might try to support you at times, but your relatives will, they'll give that nervous snap and anxiety to your family. कि नहीं भाई शादी करनी है, अब तो इसको शादी करो. Once you get married, there are the women is the, that backbone of the family. So once you are married, you have to take care of every damn thing in the house. If you are a working lady, you're working as well outside and you're working at home as well. Uske beyond way, if you start thinking, this is my dream to be a coach, so I need that support from my family. I need support from the society. I need people to believe in me that, I can do more than being just a woman at home. So I think this belief has to first come from the family, from the society, that we need to give this opportunity to this lady. And thankfully, I was very lucky that my parents supported me. My husband, even now I'm coaching, I'm doing online sessions. And my
Right.
husband, he's like, he always tells me, you're such a good at your talent, you can help. So you always help athletes and you can bring in the change. If I will, bind you in the normal responsibilities of the family, or, the normal life of India, it's gonna, somewhere in basketball is not gonna rise. So that mentality
Right.
has to come. At the same time, being a woman, I also need to balance my personal and professional life. So
Right.
I do that. I balance my personal and professional life. So as a woman, all the women who actually want to follow their dreams of being, any this thing professional supporting staff or a coach or a trainer, they have to understand that, if I have to follow my dream, I need to be more disciplined, balance my life back home, so that I, because of my professional life, my personal life should not get impacted by it. And at the same time, the family also has to support. It's like Chak De. I remember that, that scene of that hockey, that lady who wanted to go for play for the Indian team as a goalkeeper, and the mother-in-law didn't support and the husband supported. So we have very few people like that.
Right.
That's one reason. And yes, somewhere the federation also plays the role in it, because when you look at all the federations across India, different sports, they're all male dominated. How many
Right.
of the women are there in the executive board? वो पूरे बोर्ड में सिर्फ एक या दो ही women होती है, उससे ज्यादा होते
Right.
नहीं. So we need to have that balance, so that it's not about equality. I'm not asking that, let's have a equality over there, but at least, like coach
A mindset
Babu sir
change, I
said,
think, is what is
Babu sir
like
said that, we need to have that faith.
right.
So that faith has to be there, that these women can also do better, because as a women athlete, I can understand the feelings, the changes that a woman is going to have during that, transition of going from a teen to into
Yes.
20s.
Yes.
So I can relate to them better. And if I'm able to deliver as a basketball coach as on the court, so I think I need to be given that opportunity.
Absolutely.
So again,
like you
that
said,
link up
it's a mindset change, and it's all about giving more opportunities. That could also lead to more female participation. In fact,
Yes.
it's a message to all Indian families, families with girl child and girl children, that we need to actually get a mindset change and get every girl child to play sport. In fact, we've had one of our earlier webinars on this topic. It was a very, very beautiful and healthy conversation that we had. Sharif sir, with the shortage of time, I'm going to club my question as well as a question that has been directed to you. We've got about 7 minutes before we have to wind up, and the question to you is from Priya, and she asks, when do you think will India have more athletes at the UFC? Yeah, you're on mute, sir.
Yeah. When we talk about India having more athletes at the UFC, UFC is not a federation or a like an international body. UFC is a promotion.
Yes.
And a promotion ka you say na, जो घोड़ा तेज दौड़ता है उसी के ऊपर लोग पैसे लगाते हैं. It is the simple thing. So if you are a very good athlete, if you are able to prove yourself, you are able to train at that level, you are able to, it has to be a do or die situation wherein your living is for that. Yes,
right.
My dream is that. So if you have that kind of a dream, if you're passionate, definitely UFC, you don't have to find UFC. UFC will find you. Like you said, Ritu Fogart, Roshan, and I named a couple of more fighters, Pooja. So these fighters, they have been selected only because of their talent, based on their talent. It's
right.
not because in MMA game, there is nothing like a partiality. Like, sorry to say, I won't say kidhar partiality hoti hai. I'll be very honest to you, nor do I want to comment or get into any controversy. But yes, definitely we see that in cricket, yes, every person today wants their child to become a Sachin Tendulkar. Because
right.
cricket is not a sport, it is a religion in the country.
Right. And like ma'am said, it's not about the results, it's about enjoying the journey.
But in MMA, you can't do that.
You succeed. Yes.
In MMA, you can't do that. The moment you enter that cage, everything will disappear.
It's not enjoyment.
Yes, it is not at all
having
enjoyment.
To
because
win.
Being a referee at that world level stage, I know the moment the cage gate is closed and the athlete knows that he has to fight 5 minutes.
Right.
Where you are allowed to hit anywhere. You can throw, you can jump, you can grapple, you can hit the.
So it's about, like you said, having that do or die and giving
100%.
everything you have. That's when
when
you
find can
those
give in your
people
100%, 100%.
Priya, you find more
Priya or whoever has
Priya,
asked, yes, Priya, definitely you can always have an access. And as a federation, 100%, it would be our efforts to see that you reach over there.
Right.
Like this year, I am very tomorrow. One of our world athlete from UK is been Mohammad Mokav. He's from 2 years, he's been a
Right.
world champion. And tomorrow, at the age of 21 plus, he's fighting the Brave International Pro Championship in Sweden.
Wow,
His
and that's
first,
because he had that
yes,
quality of giving everything,
100%.
100% to towards that. Beautiful. So, Rao, sir, coming back to you, there's a question directed to you. Like I said, we've got exactly a couple of minutes more, so I'm going to quickly ask you and then move on to the next question for ma'am. So, if you could, in short, quickly tell us. The question is by Narasing Patro, and he asks, how can we increase the interest in a sport like kabaddi amongst young children?
Now, already my colleague has answered that. Amitabh Bachchan is singing the national anthem for Kabaddi.
So like
So
ma'am
there is
said, so
yeah.
I'll take the liberty to to phrase it again. Like ma'am also said earlier, you actually fill the gaps and make it create professional leagues and create more tournaments where kids can participate and look up to as an aspiration, right?
Now I receive phone calls from the parents. Once upon a time, I used to run after the parents. Now I
That's
am
great.
receiving phone calls from the parents because one Kabaddi player for 3 months of Pro Kabaddi League, he is earning 1.5 crore.
Wow. So
1.45 crores he is earning for
it's about
only 32 matches. So
great.
now the thing is different as
Correct.
Kabaddi has become a very popular sport in India as well as in the whole world, and many youngsters wanted to join. And this is a very easy sport, small area game, easy to learn, easy to understand, easy to make everybody happy. So I wish everybody join Kabaddi, and
Okay.
definitely there will be in the future Olympics. This is the one sport where India is going to get a gold medal.
Yes, we hope so too, sir. Thank you so much. Moving on to our last set of question, which is ma'am to you, and this is by Majid Khan, and he asks during the it's something that we already touched upon, but during the pandemic, how can coaches upskill themselves and provide more output post the pandemic?
Well, we have to understand right now is the time to develop skills. There is no pressure of
Right.
performing. So this is an advantage. You have to make this disadvantage to your advantage. Your athlete is not going to go right away into the competition. You have ample amount of time to work on all the weak points, whereas in the kid was scared कि यार मैं अगर इस पे काम करूंगा national आने वाला है मैं वहां जाके perform नहीं करने वाला. So if you utilize this time to work on all those weaknesses and build their strength, you will see the change. The moment this pandemic is over, you will see the change in your athlete when they step on the floor. First of all, now when you're training them online, they are actually trying to connect to your minds. In a bigger space, they're not focused. You need their focused all the time. But when it is a small space, then you're getting more focus from them. And then they're trying to understand to what you're actually talking to them. So this helps, mental training as well, while you're training them online. Because now they're actually trying to train their mental.
More attentive to.
Yes, more attentive.
Yes.
So
what you're saying is apart
been doing
from
this.
Oh, beautiful. In fact, so what you're saying is, in fact, just like how athletes, can improve their skills in these times, coaches themselves can actually do that and get better training themselves and hence be able to provide better.
Well, actually, the coaches, when whatever limited resources you have, whatever limited knowledge you have, that's what I'm trying to say. Whatever limited knowledge you have, you start building your player. After a week, now you have a challenge कि भाई अब मैंने इसको क्या सिखाना है. That's when you're actually gonna now explore the possibility of going on the FIBA website, look out the syllabus out over there, what age group I'm training. Now you have all the time to train yourself by the challenge of training your athletes in the pandemic. Correct. So your athlete and you will, when you meet, you will be balanced. And I believe this, I believe this is an advantage for me. This is not a disadvantage.
Great. In fact, it sort of pains me that I have to, end this conversation now. And like you said, there's an advantage using this time to get yourself, empower yourself, and with the same, thought and with the same idea of trying to empower athletes and coaches like we've in fact started off, what is called the SFA Training Club, and this is an online, training program that we've started, where athletes and coaches both, there are different programs for athletes across various sports, not only like you said sports or specific or fitness related, but also the mental aspect of it. There are various
So there
programs that
you go.
we've
You give
launched,
an answer
and
to him.
and we're looking at, of course, getting more and more coaches and athletes on board who can take this time and make the best use of this time, and take this opportunity in fact to upskill themselves and empower themselves. With this, I'd like to like I said, with a heavy heart, call this call it an end to this webinar, because it was a beautiful conversation that we could probably go on for another hour. But a very, very heartfelt thank you to all of you panelists. Thank you, Sharif sir. I'm just going with the order of my screen. Thank you, Sharif sir. Thank you, Ippy Rao sir, and thank you, Shiva ma'am, for being on this. And hopefully, with such conversations, we can stay in touch, and of course make more, empower more coaches, and make, like you said, shape the lives of more and more athletes in the coming years. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
You're
Nice
welcome.
meeting
We
you
also
guys.
enjoyed.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Stay safe and healthy. Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Sit-
Stay safe.
Mm.